Alright, I want to take you through civilization that existed in southern Illinois. It was called Cahokia. And Monk's Mound, as you can see in the middle, there is really the only one that's standing. There are a few other, I don't know if you call them barrows or mounds, that still exist. This culture spread farther than what you see here, but the ignorant farmer, settler, ground up the mounds because they had great fertile soil in there, and who knows how much archaeology we lost. But this was a significant civilization, as you can see. Yet it wasn't included on, what is it, Empire, Tiger Star, his map of the United States about the pre-Columbian natives. I said, why aren't the Potawatomi there? Why is it just other in Illinois? And the response was, not from him, but, oh, it's because they didn't have a civilization. Well, I think this counts as civilization. Don't you? Let me walk you through Cahokia. Let's see if I can undo this. Apparently I can't, so we're stuck at this mode. Fuck me. Alright. Uno momento, por favor. There we go. Boom. Another picture of what the plaza looks like. There's Monk's Mound right there. I've climbed that. Again, this is a civilization. Yet another rendering. Artisan's rendering. This actually is what Monk's Mound, I believe, looked like not so long ago when it was, they kind of let it go to pot. It's called Monk's Mound because I believe the French put a small chapel on top of it, not knowing what it was. The the Mississippian civilization, which their capital was Cahokia, was long gone by the time the colonists got here. They believe its demise is around 1300. I believe it ended a little later than that, because a lot of Native American huge civilizations ended because the European diseases traveled far faster than the Europeans could have. And equivalent to the Black Death in Europe happened in the Americas. In Cahokia Mound site again, kind of reconstruction of what it looked like, and you can see the plaza. That's what Monk's Mound looks like today. I've climbed it. It looks unimpressive, right, until you realize that's not a natural feature. They actually had to haul baskets, no bigger than a bushel basket, on their back to form this thing, right? And it had distorted over time. I believe there's been some reconstruction done on it, but this is it without any reconstruction at all. And it looks like a pyramid from the Teotihuacanes, or almost an Aztec design. And we know that the mound builders of the Mississippian civilization, or the Cahokians, they had trade that went all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, because we find shells that only, of animals that only exist in the delta of Louisiana, and as far north as Canada, because we find things from animals and as well as aquatic creatures that only exist that far north. So they had an extensive trading network, and they also went that far. And if it was just them going that far, then their trading network extended even further, so they would have known of the Aztec Triple Alliance. I should say Mexica. Again, here's another rendering of what it may have looked like, you know. You can see a typical type of house, you know, around here. Sorry about the size. This is a kind of one of their Stonehenge type things, the poles that they set up. There's an aerial view of Monk's Mound. Again, it was in a lot better condition when I saw it, but that was years and years ago. I think it was them removing some of the trees that actually caused a lot of this degradation to happen, which is a terrible, terrible, terrible shame. Another rendering. But the reason I'm doing this video, I realize it's not of the best quality, but to show you a civilization that you probably never heard of before. Here's the picture that I actually own. And very similar to Europe, right? And we don't see mound builders outside of Europe, do we? Oh, there's a stockade fence that actually, they found out that actually encompassed the whole plaza with both mounds in there. But they wouldn't have been made out of cut timber like that. It would have been logs. Again, this is another picture I framed, if it's not the same one. See, it's more like this, and then they covered it with adobe. There's a mound that's within a plaza. I don't know if that's been excavated yet. That's type of clothing they wore. I mean, they found bodies and pieces of cloth and stuff like that, and what type of shoes they wore. Another aerial picture. More Cahokia. Here's basically the scientific layout, or I should say the kind of like the blueprints. And there's Woodhenge up there that we saw the circle of, Monk's Mound, and then you have the stockade, and then the other mounds, and they even have in here the interpretive center, which is kind of like the museum that explains it. There's the two mounds that I told you about. Another reconstruction of Cahokia. Here is somebody who is not descended from the Cahokians, is a black West African who's probably partially white, maybe has some Native American blood in her, but one of these Hebrew Israelites that claimed that everybody was black, even Julius Caesar and the Greeks and the Vikings and the Native Americans. And they bitch about cultural appropriation while they appropriate everybody else's culture, so it kind of pisses me off the fact that I do actually have pre-Columbian native blood in me. Cahokia from another angle, and the plaza being in use. How the children played or whatever, what they dressed like. Thatch roofing. And here's Cahokia, you know, what they think it looked like stretched to. But remember, this is the capital. It's stretched, you know, their empire, if you want to call it that, stretched for hundreds and hundreds of miles. Oh yeah, and this is a very important piece of archaeology that they found at the site. It's this Birdman looking thing. Let's see if the next picture, oh yeah, next picture is more Cahokia. How the people lived. Yep. Again, a Stone Age people creating a mound like that, and not only that mound, which is the biggest one, but multiple other ones. This is not unlike Neolithic Europe. Again, I'm not pushing the Solutrean idea in this video, but Native Americans were macing. Again, people think Native Americans slept in teepees. No. That was only a few plains nomadic cultures. So, and there you see Woodhenge in the distance. Again, artist rendering of different perspectives of where in Cahokia. And this is about Woodhenge and where it would set and the sun would set and everything like that. And then that's about Catharism. So that's the end of my stuff on Cahokia. Peace to you. I hope you learned something and that there's more than corn in Illinois. You actually had civilization to rival the Aztec and the Inca, but since it was North America and the only building material they had was soil, well, people think lesser of it. If you ask me, it's a hell of a lot harder to use soil, and you need a lot more determination than it would be for using stone or brick. Peace to you.